And that's a wrap. Oh, hi. I'm Tricia Patterson, the Vice Chair of this year's NDSA Digital Preservation Conference and a Digital Preservation Analyst at Harvard Library. Is anyone watching this? Woo, it's the last session of the day. Don't worry, I'm going to try to keep this brief. I'm going to end today's program by thanking everyone that helped make this possible, but also looking ahead to what we can achieve together between now and the next time we meet. And I'll be sipping on the official cocktail of our conference, the DigiPres Sip, whilst I do. First, I want to let you know that I am beaming into your eyeballs and or ear canals today from Somerville, Massachusetts, which is situated on the unceded homelands of the Massachusetts people whose name was appropriated by the Commonwealth. I think land acknowledgements can be challenging because they're really just the tip of the iceberg and they can feel like rote recognition. But they can also be a launching point to do more research and familiarize ourselves with the history of the land that we're privileged to inhabit. Our conference chair, Courtney Muma, and keynote speaker, Jennifer Ferretti, pointed to an excellent resource, native-land.ca, in the opening plenary, where you can explore the history of the land you inhabit wherever you are. And November is Native American Heritage Month, so I want to recommend the podcast, All My Relations, the Reclaiming Native Truth Project, and one of our NDSA Project Innovation Award winners, Tribe Sourcing, for those that want to learn more about cultural contexts and historical perspectives directly from Native peoples themselves. And we'll be linking to all of those resources in the Slack chat. This is a quote that I loved from the keynote talk this morning, given by Jennifer Ferretti. We need leaders to help diversify our staff, not referring to the myth of the pipeline. We need leaders to take into consideration what kinds of technology we're utilizing and how it might be furthering discrimination by using them. Conference themes can sometimes get lost during a program where we're all more eager to share our hard work and our research and kind of tie them superficially to the program themes. But as the organizing team pivoted to a virtual format this year and shrink the program down to a tighter timeline, it really was a priority to focus in and embrace our themes of ethical decision-making and collaborating with designated communities, accessibility, and sustainable practice. So we were downright honored to have Jennifer start our day off so powerfully by making a really persuasive statement about the power of leadership in shaping the trajectory of our profession. We had an amazing organizing committee this year. They signed up to organize a program in Baltimore, and well, that didn't happen. And everyone adapted so fluidly and thoughtfully as we shifted to a virtual platform that presented many unknowns. Our incredibly hardworking chair, Courtney Muma, shepherded all of us through the changes. She was our guiding light, and she did so with admirable clarity and compassion. I would be remiss not to mention the exceptional support we received from the Council on Library and Information Resources and the Digital Library Federation and their staff, in particular, Aaliyah Reich, who works tirelessly and very closely with us to make all of this possible. And a special shout out to Stefan Elnabli and Abby Stombach for helping me put together this closing session of the day. And they are going to be in the Slack channel as well, popping in the links as they're mentioned throughout the session. We aren't in person this year, but the events this week were also free of charge. And our sponsors here made it possible for us to convene. So we can't thank them enough for that support. These organizations are members, they are allies, they know our work inside and out because it's their work too. So if you haven't already, please take a stroll down the hall of sponsors and explore what each of these organizations can offer your institution. Of course, the NDSA wouldn't thrive without all of the diligent and creative and innovative institutions that comprise our membership. So thank you so much to all you NDSA members. And I want to call special attention to those serving on the coordinating committee and on working groups and interest groups, putting in extra time, contributing to activities to advance our collective work. And DigiPres is always open to non-members as well. So for those of you that aren't members, a huge thank you for congregating with your colleagues today to share and connect. If you are looking to join, however, it's just a brief application to fill out, and you can find that at this URL, and we'll drop that in the Slack chat as well. It is a free membership, and members are asked to commit to engaging actively, be it in working groups or interest groups. So join us, help us achieve even more. And on the membership page, you'll also find a list of the numerous membership benefits. So please allow me to veer into cheesy territory, or you can fast forward. This is pre-recorded. To share a poem that I really always find heartening, but I think it resonates even more strongly the past year. The words are small, so I will read it, and I think poems are wonderful read aloud anyway. This is The Good News by Thich Nhat Hanh. They don't publish the good news. The good news is published by us. We have a special edition every moment, and we need you to read it. The good news is that you are alive, and the linden tree is still there, standing firm in the harsh winter. The good news is that you have eyes, wonderful eyes, to touch the blue sky. The good news is that your child is there before you, and your arms are available. Hugging is possible. They only print what is wrong. Look at each of our special editions. We always offer the things that are not wrong. We want you to benefit from them and help protect them. The dandelion is there by the sidewalk, smiling its wondrous smile, singing the song of eternity. Listen, you have ears that can hear it. Bow your head, listen to it. Leave behind the world of sorrow and preoccupation and get free. The latest good news is that you can do it. This isn't to say that bad news doesn't matter or doesn't exist. Of course it does. But as bad news overwhelms us, it becomes critical for our hope and our well-being and our emotional endurance to be able to stay awake to the good news and notice it. I see good news in the inspiring work of all my colleagues who bring so much passion and hope to the table. We are all isolated and unable to come together in person this year, but the good news is that we are here, we are present, we have found a way to connect. The good news is that by going virtual, we had higher numbers of registered attendees than ever. We were able to make the content more accessible, both geographically and perceivably through transcripts. We burdened our earth a bit less by avoiding air and car travel, and we burdened our wallets a bit less by having free registration. The good news is that we are an engaged community, and our mission is to protect so that others can benefit. And we are learning every day how to accomplish that in more effective, compassionate ways. So let's continue to generate good news. These are suggestions on how to get and stay active with digital preservation, and they are inspired by our program themes, as well as our organizing committee and our keynote speaker. But I would love to hear more suggestions from all of you in the Slack chat as well. I'll read through them. Identify opportunities to broaden the focus of our work beyond technology and encompass the humanity of our field. Without the humanity of our work guiding us, becomes easy to get lost in the weeds of technological minutia and infrastructure in a way that doesn't justly facilitate the mission of what our digital work is meant to. Connect with a member institution or a person with which you haven't previously interacted. Did you see someone new presenting today, or in the Slack chat, or in the swanky high fidelity lounge earlier? Reach out to them, make a new colleague or a new friend. Contact a relevant stakeholder at your institution and talk about how your digital preservation practice can better capture an accurate representation of the community. Get that feedback, listen. We've got to allow our practice to be even more iterative and responsive than it may already be. Initiate a conversation about sustainability, technological, environmental, economic sustainability. Strategize practical ways to address those. Even a small step forward is a step in the right direction. Review existing policies and procedures and ensure they reflect current practice. It's an active way to remain adaptive. And finally, actively participate in an NDSA working and/or interest group. Let's work together. And that's it. Please remember to participate in the post-conference survey to offer feedback for all of this week's events. This survey heavily influences how we craft future programs, so your opinion is truly valuable. The link here is case sensitive, but it will get dropped into the Slack chat as well, and it will also be emailed to all registered attendees. I'm personally looking forward to convening again in a year, however that looks. But hopefully we'll all connect in the interim as well as our work continues to bring this together. All right, off you pop.